Good morning, class. Today we are working on lesson 5.2 in your GoMath book. You are going to need pages 267 and 269. So if you have not torn them out yet, please pause the video and go grab those 2 pages out of your math book. All right, let's get started. The title of lesson 5.2 is Finding Unknown Numbers. The essential question is, how can you use an array or a multiplication table to find an unknown factor or product? Here we go. Tanisha plans to invite 24 people to a picnic. The invitations come in packs of 8. How many packs of invitations does Tanisha need to buy? Okay, let's discuss this vocabulary word. An equation is a number sentence that uses the equal sign to show that 2 amounts are equal. Although this is new on your vocab list, we have been working equations since day 1, and you just didn't know that's what it was. A symbol or letter can stand for an unknown number. You can write the equation n times 8 equals 24 to find how many packs of invitations Tanisha needs. Find the number n, that makes the equation true. You might say, well, why is it an n? It's not an n for any specific reason. It could be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, any letter of the alphabet, whatever you choose. The letter doesn't matter. Okay, it's just the idea that there is a letter here instead of a number, so that tells you that's what you need to find out. That's the missing factor. All right, let's look at our box up here. How many people is Tanisha inviting? Well, Tanisha plans to invite 24 people. How many invitations are in one pack? The invitations come in packs of 8. So there's 8 invitations in one pack. Okay. The first strategy we're going to use is using an array. So we're going to show an array of 24 tiles with 8 tiles in each row by completing the drawing. So let me explain this a little bit more. Our problem is n times 8 equals 24. So something times 8 equals 24. We have a missing factor, a known factor, and the product. Now you remember from learning arrays that this is the number of rows times how many in each row equals the total number. Okay? So blank rows of 8 equals 24. That's what we're solving. Blank rows of 8 equals 24. We need to figure out how many rows of 8 will equal 24. The way that we do this is we start by drawing a row of 8, and we keep doing that until we reach 24. Okay, so I've already got 8. Okay, and now I'm going to have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I can clearly see that I have 1, 2, 3 rows of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 3 rows of 8. 3 rows of 8. So that means 3 times 8 equals 24. So we used an array to find our unknown factor. Now let's fill in this down here now that we have all of our information. There are 3 rows of 8 tiles. The unknown factor is 3. So that means that n equals 3. 3 times 8 is 24. Well, 3 times 8 is 24. So 24 is the same as 24. So that means the equation is true. Okay, so remember, in an equation, whatever's on each side has to equal the same amount. So Tanisha needs 3 packs of invitations. Okay? All right. We're way number 2. Use a multiplication table. Now, normally, you are not allowed to use this to do your work because we want you to learn the other strategies and not just use this as an answer key. But today, we're going to use it to find the unknown factor. So, you can keep this handy for your assignment to help you if this is the strategy you choose to use today. All right. So, 3 times 8 equals square. Okay, this is also an equation. A square is not a letter, but that's fine. It's not a number, so I know that it's a symbol that stands for the unknown product. So here I know the factor, I don't know the product. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the product 3 times 8, where row 3 and column 8 meet. Okay, so you can see row 3, column 8. Boom, right there. It also works if you do it the other way, row 8, column 3. Either way works because of the commutative property. Okay, so the unknown product or answer is 24. So that means the square equals 24. 3 times 8 equals 24. 3 times 8, 24, 24. The equation is true. So this is another way to find the unknown number, okay? The multiplication table is a little easier to use if you're finding the unknown product. Not necessarily as easy to use if you're finding the unknown factor. But let's pretend for a moment that we're finding the unknown factor. So let's say I'm going to use this multiplication table, forget the problem we just did, and I want to find, let's see, 6 times n equals 42. So let's say this is your problem. 6 times n equals 42. You want to find this unknown factor, right? Well, how could you use a multiplication table to do that? Well, let's start by going to row 6. So I'm going to go to row 6, okay? Now, I don't know what my column is going to be because that's my unknown factor, but I do know what product I need to find. So I'm going to go to row 6. I'm going to keep going over until I find that product, which is right here. So once I found that product, if I go up, it's going to show me that missing factor, 7. So that means that n equals 7, because 6 times 7 is 42. So that's how you can use the multiplication table to help you find a missing factor. All right. What is the unknown factor shown by this array? Okay. I see 5 times blank or square equals 35. So I'm missing a factor. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I'm a good mathematician, is I'm going to label my array. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 5 rows of 7, right? Now, I don't know for sure, but I think this array equals 35, but I'm going to double check and say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So this array totals 35. So this is the correct array for this problem. So 5 times blank equals 35. Well, I know 5 rows of 7 is 35. So that means that the blank must be 7. Okay. Now down here, you're going to have a whole lot of equations with unknown numbers. And what you're going to notice is that anything can stand in place of the number to show you that it's unknown. We have the letter D, a triangle, Look, there's even a star, okay? So as long as it's not a number, then you know that that's the missing number, all right? Now, here's the nice thing about this. At this point, we have memorized all of our facts from 0 to 5, okay? So many of these, your strategy may be using your memorized facts. So if it's a factor of 0 through 5 and you learned and memorized your facts of 0 through 5 like you were supposed to, then you can use that strategy of using your memorized facts. If it's a factor that is beyond that, then we're going to jump to our other strategies of drawing equal groups, drawing an array, using the multiplication table. Okay, you ready? All right, look at number 2. D times 3 equals 27. Okay, we learned our threes. So I want you to ask yourself, what times 3 equals 27? 9. 9 times 3 equals 27. So that means that D equals 9. 9 would take the place of D. Okay, look at number 3. 6 times 5 equals triangle. So here our unknown number is the products, the answer. Well, we've memorized our 5s, okay? So we can use memorization. We could also use skip counting because 5s are easy to skip count. So if you skip counted your 5s to the number 6, you'd have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And you know that 6 times 5 equals 30. So the triangle equals 30. Okay? You're probably thinking, Mrs. Rankin, this is really easy. Every year my kids say this lesson is easy. It's one of their favorites. You get to use the strategies that you know. And my kids that did their best at memorizing their facts love this because it's super easy for them. All right, number 4. C equals 5 times 4. We've memorized our 5s and our 4s. So what is 5 times 4? 5, 10, 15, 20. So C equals 20. Do number 5. Go. Okay, so you should have asked yourself, what times 2 equals 14? We know our 2's. So what times 2 equals 14? 7. So you should have said square equals 7. Okay, good. All right, let's keep it rolling. Number 6, B equals 4 times 9. Well, not only have we memorized our 4s, but we also learned a really cool 9s trick, didn't we? So we say 1, 2, 3, 4. Put that finger down. We have 3 10s and 6 1s. So that means 36. 4 times 9 is 36, so B equals 36. And if you're wondering, why is the answer at the beginning and then the problem's here? Because it doesn't matter. As long as there's an equal sign in between them, it doesn't matter if the product comes first or the factors come first. There's an equal sign between them, which just means that whatever's on this side is equal to whatever is on this side. All right, number 7, 8 times E equals 64. We have reached a problem that we have not memorized. What are we going to do? We could draw an array. We could draw equal groups. Or we could use the multiplication table. What would you like to do? All right, let's use that multiplication table since you don't get to use it very often. 8 times E equals 64. So I'm going to go to row 8. See it right here? And I want to go across until I reach the product of 64. There it is. Now, the product of 64 falls under what column? 8. So that means 8 rows of 8, or 8 times 8 is 64. So if that is the case, then that means E equals 8. All right, next we have 7 times star equals 42. We haven't memorized our 7s yet. Okay, so although I could just run up here and find it for you real quick, I want to show you multiple strategies. So I'm going to draw an array over here. Okay, and I want to draw an array that has 7 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's my 7 rows. And I want to repeat and add 1 to each row until I get to 42. And then I can figure out how many I have in each row. So this is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Notice I'm making sure these are as lined up as possible so I don't end up doing more than 7 or less than 7. Okay, so I'm at 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. If you have manipulatives or marshmallows or Cheerios, you can use those as well instead of drawing out your array. However you want to do it, okay? So I know on this side I have 7 rows. How many rows did I make though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I know that 7 rows of 6 is going to total 42. So that means that 7 times 6 is 42. So star equals 6. Okay? 8 times 9 equals Z. Our unknown factor is our product. Okay? Well, we have a great 9's trick. So flip your hands over and let's go. 8 times 9. So I'm going to count until I get to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's my finger that goes down. So how many 10s do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 10s. And 1 1 all by himself over there. Don't forget that thumb. So that means I have 81. So 8 times 9 is 80. Did I count that wrong? Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I put the 9th finger down. We just talked about this in our Zoom today about how I make mistakes too. And here I just made one. Do you see what mistake I made? I put the 9th finger down instead of the 8th finger. But I caught myself because I knew 8 times 9, it shouldn't be 72. Or I mean, it should be 72. It shouldn't be 81. So I'm going to go back and do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sometimes when you're in a hurry, you make silly mistakes. So you want to make sure that you are working super carefully. So now that we've got the correct finger down, let's count our 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 10s and 2 1s. So that means I have 72. All right. Crisis avoided. Got the correct answer. Okay. Grab your next page, which is 269. Okay. I want you to go ahead and solve 10 through 17. You're going to pause the video, solve 10 through 17, use whatever strategy works best for you. The only strategy I ask you not to use is guessing. And then play the video again when you come back. All right, if you're back, you're ready to check your answers and see how you did. Here we go. Okay. Square equals 9 times 2. Well, we have our 2's memorized. What is 9 times 2? 18. So square equals 18. For each one you get right, give yourself a pat on the back or a high five. Here we go. Number 11, 28 equals 4 times m. So you should have asked yourself, 4 times what equals 28? Which you should know that answer because we have memorized our 4's. So what times 4 equals 28? 7 times 4 equals 28. Y times 3 equals 9. So again, ask yourself, what times 3 equals 9? We've done our 3's. 3 times 3 equals 9. Very good. 7 times 9 equals G. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 63. All right, if you got the first 4 right, give yourself a little hand. And let's keep rolling. Number 14, A equals 6 times 4. We've memorized our 4s. So 6 times 4 is what? 24. So A equals 24. Number 15, 7 equals 7 times what? So 7 times what would equal 7? Well, think about your properties. What property would lead this factor to be also the product? The identity property. Any number times 1 equals that number. So 7 times 1 equals 7. So N equals 1. W times 3 equals 15. What times 3 equals 15? We have these factors memorized, and you should have said W equals 5. Star equals 8 times 6. Ooh, we do not have these factors memorized. I'm very curious to hear what strategies that you chose to use. You could have used drawing an array. You could have used distributed property, equal groups, multiplication table. Either way, star equals 48. If you got all of those correct, give yourself a good pat on the back. Wonderful. All right, let's look at your next section. Okay. These are just another form of equations. See the equal sign in the middle? That tells you it's an equation. So that means that whatever's on this side should equal the same amount of whatever's on that side. That's all we're doing. They look really hard and confusing, but they're not. I'm going to show you. We solve one side at a time, okay? 3 times 6. What is 3 times 6? 18. Very good. So I write it up here so you don't forget. It's 18. So I know that something times 9 must total 18 in order for this equation to be true. So what times 9 equals 18? 2. So if 2 times 9 equals 18, then K is 2 to make the equation true. Number 19. 4 times y equals 2 times 6, okay? What is 2 times 6? 12. All right, so I'm going to write it up here. So that tells me I need to find 4 times what to make it equal 12. 4 times what equals 12? 3. So y equals 3, and my equation is true. Okay, see, it's not as hard as what you think. 5 times g equals 36 minus 6. All right, well, what is 36 minus 6? 30. So I need to find 5 times what equals 30? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 6. So G is 6. Go ahead and pause the video and try to solve 21, 22, 23 on your own. Go for it. Press play when you're ready to come back and discuss. All right, if you are back, you are ready to check your answers for 21, 22, and 23. Hopefully we worked out each side to make the equation true, and we didn't guess. So let's see if you got all 3 correct or not. 21. 6 times 4 equals square times 3. So let's first solve the side that has a full equation or a full number sentence. 6 times 4. What is 6 times 4? You should have said 24. And what times 3 would equal 24? Well, 8. So if you said square is 8, you got it correct. Number 22, 9 times D equals 70 plus 2. What is 70 plus 2? Well, that's 72. So 9 times what equals 72? You should have said 9 times 8 equals 72. Remember we just solved this on the previous page? So D equals 8. Okay, 8 times H equals 60 minus 4. What is 60 minus 4? Well, 56. So I need to figure out 8 times what equals 56? Hopefully you said 8 times 7 equals 56. So H equals 7. Okay? All right, let's do some word problems, and then you will be off to work on your assignment all by yourself. Here we go. Invitations cost $3 for a pack of 8. Lori gives the cashier $20 to buy invitations and gets $11 in change. How many packs of invitations does Lori buy? Explain. Okay. So first of all, we need to find out how many packs she bought. So there's extra information that we don't need. We don't need to know how many is in each pack. We just need to know how much they cost. So that means she bought, let's think of a letter. What do we want to use? She bought, we'll use P. How about that for pack? She bought, we don't know how many packs, times $3 a piece, right? And we need that to equal what she did with her money, which was she started with 20 and she got 11 and change. So we need to figure out what combination of packs that she bought to equal the amount of change that she got. So first let's solve the change. $20 minus $11 is how much? $9. Good. Okay, so now you need to ask yourself what times $3 is going to equal $9. So what times 3 equals 9? 3. So that means 3 times 3 equals 9. So this tells me that P equals 3, right? So she bought 3 packs of invitations. Okay. Number 25. Cause and Amelia each make a tile design with 36 tiles. Cause puts his in rows of 4. Amelia puts hers in rows of 6. How many more tiles are in each of Cause's rows than Amelia's? Oh boy. Okay. So we have multi-steps here. So I know that, let's write it out. Cause has 4 rows of blank. We'll do a square this time, but it's going to total 36, right? So 4 times what equals 36? 4 times 9. So I know Cause's array is 4 rows of 9, correct? Then you have Amelia, and Amelia did 6 rows of blank, and hers also totals 36, correct? Okay, notice how I'm writing out this information to make it make sense. This is what you should do with word problems. So I should ask myself, 6 times what equals 36? Well, 6 times 6 equals 36. Okay, so I know that Cause had 4 rows of 9, Amelia had 6 rows of 6. But the question's asking me, how many more tiles are in each of Cause's rows than Amelia's? So Cause has 9 tiles in each row. Amelia has 6 tiles in each row. I'm subtracting because it says how many more, and 9 minus 6 equals 3. So that means Cause's rows have 3 more tiles each. Okay? All right, head on over to Think Central and work on your assignment. Take your time, do your best, and have fun.